Real estate heroes. Do they hurt or do they help? What are they? Come right back and I'll tell you. Hi, I'm Brenda Kay, and this is my weekly video series, Stacks and Stuff. And of course, it's the sweet Miss Frankie, who's with me all the time, having a little sleep here with her blankie. All right. Oh my God. Why does everyone want to give out real estate advice? I have been in this industry for years, and I am consistently and continually surprised at some of the advice that unsolicited advice that friends and family like to get. Now, don't get me wrong. You need family, you need friends, you want their input. You definitely want, I had 2 sons, so I was not only in there as the agent, I was in there as mom too. So like I said, I'm going to show you a couple examples and a few tips on how you can still be helpful with your family or your friend, and they can buy or sell the home of their dreams. Okay. Number 1, home pricing hero. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to tell 3 stories because that's the best way to explain it. And I'll call her Mrs. R. So when I go in and I price something, I look at the fixtures, the finishes, the features, what's sold in the neighborhood, how big is your house, how old is your house? And I take it and I do all the math, just like an appraiser. Oh, hey, just like the buyer's agent's going to do too. So that being said, I had an amount for Mrs. R's house. And when I went back the next day to get the paper signed, she'd been talking to her neighbor. Her neighbor advised her that I was wrong. Yeah. Okay. So she was bound determined. She wanted to put that up $25,000 higher. And of course I did. I explained to her it's what we call challenging the market. It was a balanced market, not a busy market. So it may hinder and you may become stale. That's okay. So we did. We put it on $25,000 higher. We're 6 weeks in, no offers, no nothing. We adjusted it. So Mrs. R goes to a Christmas party, and the same neighbor tells her, I underpriced her home. Hello? If I underpriced it, it would be sold. Does that not make sense? Her home ended up being on the market about 30 or 40 days past the average days on market. Because when you start too high, that's what happens. Now, in a market like Halifax in right now, the same thing. Absolutely. The realtor knows the strategy to create the pricing, put the pricing out there that's going to drive those competing bids. Because when you start way up here, you're still going to end up there if you price it wrong, no matter what the market is. So, all right, next one. Home buying heroes. And again, please, I totally understand, especially if it's first-time home buyers, you want to go. But come along and maybe zip for the first little bit that you're in there. I'm there to give them advice, and I do. I try not to, unless I see something wrong, I try not to say too much because they want to absorb it. I want to see how they're reacting to the home. You can shake your head all you want if you don't think it's emotional, but I'm telling you, buying a house is emotional. So let them go through it, let them assess it, and then the later on in the night, once they've had some thoughts about it, then sit down and have a discussion. Give your opinion. There's a difference between an opinion and advice. So advice is better left to the professional. Hey, if we make a mistake, we're in a contract under the fiduciary duties, right? There's repercussions. This is very serious to us. So maybe just share your opinion on it. So my favorite, my biggest pet peeve is the home inspection hero. Now, let me tell you, when a family member comes in on a home inspection, They like to flex their real estate knowledge muscles. This one here, probably one of the best stories I can tell, is about a home I had listed in Dartmouth. It had been completely renovated next to the golf course, well priced. The sellers even replaced the sewer line. The house was built in the 50s or 60s. So the father came along on the inspection, and it was going well. Everything was perfect. We get to the basement. The inspector said, it's a brand new sub pump. It's working. There's no evidence that there's ever been water in this house. He crawled under the stairs. There was no staining. There was nothing. So, of course, while we were there, the father was arguing with the inspector. And finally, poor Stephen, he just gave up even trying to explain what it is. But he did say to the buyers, in this area in Dartmouth, in the 50s and 60s, all these homes with the water levels or the way the foundations sit, they all have sub pumps on them. In them. That doesn't mean they're going to leak. All right, moving along with the story. The father convinces them that night it's going to leak. They had a very, very experienced agent that they weren't listening to, and she called me and she terminated based on this inspection report. Said her clients, they love it, they want it so bad, but Dad said. So that being said, within hours, I had another offer because it was a great home and a great price. It's funny because the one who bought it actually turned in to be a good friend, and she's a realtor on my team now. She was there 8 years. 8 years. I went and I sold it last year. She never had a drop of water in her basement. Not once in 8 years. So here this girl was crying. She was heartbroken. She gave up a house because of what Dad says. And in this case, we can actually say to Dad, hello, it's been 8 years. So, again, so real estate heroes, please take a minute. Just take a minute before you give advice. And think, could it cost the sellers money? Could it get, will buyers walk away from what could be a potential house? And the busy agents out there, members will come and say, I've done this 3 or 4 times. I know what I'm doing. Well, some of the top agents in the city have done this 800 or 1,000 times. So, let the professionals do their work and then sit and give your opinion and help them make a decision if you want. That's where you come in. That's where I came in, even with my own boys. And I'm a realtor. So, all right. Stats. Every week, what's active? 828. 828 listings. Over 3,000 listings this time 4 years ago. The new ones come on this week were 89. Now, this is only Halifax and Dartmouth. Okay, I did not do the Valley. I didn't do it. This is only Halifax and Dartmouth. And this is condos, semis, detached, you name it. Lumps everything in together here. So when I was looking at what sold, it was 152. I hit the wrong button. Off goes the screen. And literally 10 seconds later, I put the same information in again. It was 153. That's crazy. Days on market are up a little bit. They're 42. It is, like I said, people have Christmas and that on their mind. The market is still hot, and don't get me wrong. And the average price, $415,000 and change. $415,000 in Halifax, Dartmouth. So, little Miss Frankie turned around and you can see her face. So that's what's happening in the real estate market. I love doing my stats and stuff videos. If you enjoy them, please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment on there. And I'm Brenda Kay. This is the sweet Miss Frankie. And we'll be back next week. Cheers.